how is it even possible? I mean, how can an institution that's universally designed for love, for commitment, for happiness, how does it also become like the number one place for deep pain, bitterness, and just suffering?
It's a huge contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah, and that exact contradiction, the one PG Sebastian puts right out there, that's what we're really diving into today.
It really is the ultimate paradox of partnership these days. So welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a necessary deep dive into Sebastian's work on rethinking marriage, a partnership of equals.
Right.
And the core mission here, it isn't just about critiquing marriage, but really understanding why Sebastian argues we absolutely have to recalibrate how we see this, this age-old institution.
Moving past destiny and obligation.
Exactly, moving past those traditional ideas of destiny, cultural duty, and frankly, the toxic idea that commitment just means putting up with misery.
Yeah, Sebastian is so clear on this. Marriage isn't supposed to be some battlefield, right? Where two people are just exhausted, fighting to keep a title alive.
No, not at all.
He frames it completely differently, like an intricate dance, a dance of real companionship. And for you listening, if you're looking for practical ways to build a relationship that actually works today, this shift, this move from just enduring it to dynamic companionship, that's the whole game.
It is. So let's talk about these new rules of engagement.
Okay.
We really have to start with PG Sebastian's core observation. The absolute heart of marriage must be companionship.
Not just the romance, not just paying bills together.
Right, companionship. And he actually breaks this down into 6 critical pillars. It really shows just how complex this foundation needs to be.
And we're talking a huge spectrum here, aren't we? Sebastian lists sexual, financial, social, emotional, spiritual, and psychological companionship.
Exactly.
When you see that list, you instantly realize if you're only focusing on, say, 2 of those, maybe just the money and the sex, the whole thing is just inherently unstable.
Completely unstable. And that instability is often invisible, until the first big storm hits.
Right.
And I find his inclusion of psychological companionship really insightful.
What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, Sebastian talks about creating a space where two people actively encourage each other's intellectual curiosity, where they engage with each other's minds,
Oh, yeah.
where you feel safe to maybe change your beliefs over time without feeling judged by your partner.
Okay, that's a huge difference. That's walking together, not just coexisting.
Precisely.
Coexisting sounds like, I don't know, 2 people who signed a lease years ago, and now they're just polite but lonely roommates.
Yeah. Sebastian says companionship means actively walking together through the storms, making sure there's mutual support, making sure growth is actually happening.
So coexistence is just inertia, standing still.
Yeah, while companionship is dynamic, it takes ongoing effort.
Okay.
And speaking of these foundational expectations, Sebastian really takes a sharp axe to one of the most deeply ingrained pressures.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this. Procreation.
You got it. The idea that marriage is mainly, or even primarily, about having children.
It's such a heavy weight, isn't it? Depending on your culture, your family. That pressure can be absolutely crushing. To see marriage only as a way to have kids?
It can be. But Sebastian's message here is really one of autonomy. That decision is deeply personal. It must be a mutual agreement between the two partners.
Nothing else should matter.
It's about empowerment.
Yeah.
He says couples should feel totally entitled to make the choices that fit their life plans, period.
Whether that's kids or no kids.
Right? A big family, adoption, choosing to be child-free. None of those choices should make them feel less than or judged. That decision belongs only to them, not to society, not family, not anyone else.
You know, this is a really good moment for you, the listener, to pause and reflect. We all know that external pressure is real. It comes from everywhere. Family, media, just what we inherit. But PG Sebastian challenges us to step outside all that noise for a second. Define success for yourselves. So really think. If you took away all the outside expectations, the pressure about roles, the pressure about kids, what's the single most vital part of companionship you'd choose to focus on this week?
It's a powerful question.
Sebastian says that choice, that power to define it yourself, is fundamentally yours.
And that freedom, especially around children, it highlights a deeper issue, doesn't it? If the couple defines their family, who's really controlling the narrative of the marriage itself?
Okay.
And that brings us to Sebastian's really serious and honestly quite necessary critique of the institution, specifically what he calls the spiritualization of marriage.
The spiritualization of marriage. Yeah, that term hits hard. Because it sounds nice, but it can actually provide cover for some really bad behavior, can it?
It absolutely can.
So what's the risk when marriage gets treated like this sacred thing above the actual humans in it?
Well, Sebastian explains the risk is critical. This perspective, it ends up prioritizing saving the institution, the title of marriage, over protecting the actual people in the marriage.
Right.
So when the system, whether it's religious or cultural, says the marriage must survive no matter what, it unintentionally gives, and this is his phrase, manipulative and abusive partners a safe space.
Oh, wow.
Because they know the system might lean towards saving the union, not saving the person being harmed.
That's horrifying. And it perfectly explains that painful contradiction Sebastian points out. We all know couples, right? Their marriages look perfect on the outside.
Perfect Instagram feed.
Exactly. Perfect on paper. But internally, they're just crumbling, full of unaddressed problems, bitterness, deep resentment.
And the contrast is just agonizing.
Mhm.
This internal decay, it's happening while doctrines are preaching love, selflessness, sacrifice.
Yeah.
The cognitive dissonance is just immense. You're told to sacrifice for the marriage, but often that sacrifice means the slow, painful death of your own well-being, your own identity.
It's like that marital destination idea he talks about. Like, you climbed Everest, got to the summit, claimed the title married, and then you realize you forgot to pack any warm clothes for the way down because you thought just getting there, getting the title was the whole point.
That's a perfect analogy.
Mm.
And it forces us to ask this really important question PG Sebastian emphasizes. If a relationship is internally rotten, just falling apart inside,
Mm.
why are we fighting so hard to save the title, the label, and not the actual person?
Mm.
We have to really examine what assumptions we've inherited about commitment, what outdated ideas of sacrifice we're still carrying around that let this suffering continue. Success can't just be about how long it lasts.
Absolutely not. Okay, so let's move away from these traps. How do we fix this? What are the solutions Sebastian proposes? It sounds like it starts with a hard reset on expectations.
Exactly. We need to actively, maybe even aggressively, redefine those expectations.
Meaning what, specifically?
It means challenging those old norms around gender roles. For starters, who does what? Who handles money? Who runs the house?
Right, moving beyond tradition.
Yes. Redefining responsibilities based on what works for this specific couple, their capabilities, their mutual agreement, not just some archaic script we inherited.
Okay.
And Sebastian argues we have to kill that destination fallacy. Treat marriage like an ongoing, voluntary journey, not a finish line you cross.
Okay, if it's an ongoing journey, you definitely need some skills for the road. And Sebastian really stresses healthy communication. But he's not just talking about learning I feel statements, is he?
No, it goes way deeper than just learning how to argue better. Communication for him is like the engine of companionship. It demands real vulnerability.
Vulnerability, okay.
It's about being profoundly open, profoundly honest, addressing issues before they fester and escalate, not waiting until resentment is just baked into the foundation.
So it fosters understanding.
Deeper understanding, yeah. And it acknowledges that people grow and change. Partners have to be ready for the other person to evolve.
And that connects right into empowering individuality, doesn't it? The idea of not losing yourself in the marriage. That feels huge.
It is huge. Sebastian really stresses that individuals need to actively maintain their own identity, their hobbies, their personal growth within the relationship.
Because the old model demanded conformity.
Right. That conformity to those old, rigid spouses' roles is what causes that slow vanishing act.
Yeah.
The partner who gave up their career or their friends or their passions just to fit the mold.
Yeah.
Sebastian's point is that the healthiest relationships, they're built by two whole individuals choosing to walk together, not two halves trying to complete each other.
So maybe your action item this week isn't scheduling couples therapy.
Maybe not immediately.
Maybe it's finally booking that class you keep putting off, or actually starting that passion project.
It's exactly reclaiming a piece of you.
Okay. And then finally, Sebastian wraps up the solutions by talking about systemic support. He's clear that this isn't just on the couple to fix everything, right?
No, absolutely not. The community, the institutions around them, they have a role too. We need stronger support systems, things like accessible counseling, safe community spaces, places to get third-party help when things get too big to handle alone.
And he calls for a tougher stance on bad behavior.
Yes, crucially, PG Sebastian calls for a stronger, really a zero-tolerance stance against abuse and manipulation.
Which means challenging the narratives that enable it.
Precisely. Actively challenging those cultural or religious stories that suggest staying silent or just enduring pain is somehow noble or virtuous. We have to reject systems that protect the institution over the person.
Wow. Okay, so if we tie all of Sebastian's thinking together here, the big picture message seems really clear. Marriage has to evolve.
It absolutely must. It has to reflect modern values, equality, mutual respect, real deep companionship if it's going to survive and actually mean something positive.
We need to stop treating it like some sacred, untouchable relic.
Yes. And start treating it like a dynamic agreement between two equals.
Mm.
We need to shift from those old, archaic ideas of duty towards intentionally building something humane, understanding, flexible.
It requires work.
It demands intentionality, vulnerability, and constantly checking in on those expectations.
So Sebastian is essentially saying, let's redefine marriage, not as that final destination, not as a battlefield, but as this ongoing journey of shared growth, understanding, and, yeah, love.
Well put.
So thinking about your own partnership or the partnerships you see, what stands out to you right now as the most immediate, practical step someone could take, maybe even this week, towards making that partnership one of true equals?
That really is the essential question to walk away with, and to dive deeper into these ideas, these necessary reforms, and get more guidance on creating a more humane, understanding partnership.
Mm,
Go explore more with PG Sebastian and the Step to Forever resources.
lots more to unpack there.
Absolutely. We really encourage you to seek out his full reflections on rethinking what it truly means to share life with someone today. We'll catch you next time.